You are now entering. Hell in the pod. Hey, yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the cannoli-eating, jabroni-beating bad guy, Gio Gump, a.k.a. Young Pesci, and today we got with us, getting culturally extreme here on Hell in the Pod, the voice of CNY, Charlie Goldberg. How you doing, brother?
Phenomenal. And congratulations on your New York Yankees there.
Yeah.
Of course, let's do it. Let's get culturally.
We're in the series, but we did take the first loss of the series last night in an incredible
MLB game. I thought I was playing MLB The Show with created characters once again.
Oh, I don't watch that stuff. That stuff's scripted, but
Gotcha.
yeah, you see.
Wrestling only for this guy. I love it.
See what I did there? There's
Listen,
the plug.
here we go. So I ask everybody this first question here on Hell in the Pod. What is your earliest memory? What got you into pro wrestling, Charlie?
Yeah. 2011, looking back at it, it wasn't the most stupendous show ever, but WrestleMania 27. I was a little Charlie, and I watched The Miz and John Cena headline on my couch with my dad. And he's not a wrestling guy at all, but just from that point on out, it all just started going up from there.
So WrestleMania, I love the fact that when I talk to a lot of people, especially on this wrestling podcast, is like their memories was the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania. And his is John Cena and The Miz, which Miz is generational talent. I love the fact that he is where he is, seeing him come off the show, seeing him come off of MTV, everyone haze him and stuff like that, him be that. And then John Cena. I mean, everyone loved John Cena growing up, and if you didn't, you hated him. Talk a little bit about that match. What stood out to you the most as you watched it as a kid?
As a kid, I don't remember any of it, really. I just remember liking it from that point on. But you said it, Cena's the GOAT, no doubt about that. The Miz is my personal favorite of all time, though.
It's awesome.
And I love the way he presents himself in the ring. When it comes to mic skills, when it comes to on-air confidence, I try to be inspired a lot by The Miz. And I try to take a lot of what The Miz does and kind of smooth it out into what I do, whether that be at school, on news, or here in the ring.
That's amazing that, you know what I mean, Charlie Goldberg taking some inspiration from The Miz, man. And he's doing great things right now. I think he's probably one of the greatest heels that you can watch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
And John Cena announced his retirement. How do you feel about that?
It's going to be very upsetting come 2025, but it's going to be a wild ride. And I know that it's going to be it. There's a lot of guys who say they're done, and then they have another match, kind of like a band saying they're on their farewell tour, but then they keep on going back. With Cena, he says it. That's his word. It's going to be it.
And it's going to end right at WrestleMania. Who do you think his opponent is, if you had to guess?
I don't know. I think it ends December 2025.
Oh.
I'm not 100% sure on that. But I don't know. I want to see him mix it up with Punk again. That's classic. I want to see him with Orton one more time.
I was literally going to say triple threat match.
There you go.
Orton and CM Punk. I think it would be amazing go out for him. But you never know who he's going to put over because that's what he does. But so going back to as a childhood, from that point on, you started watching it. I was a big TLC guy, ladders, tables, chairs. If it was just an individual or, them wrapped up, that was my favorite match. What was your favorite match to watch?
That's a good question. When I was younger, I've always loved Falls Count Anywhere matches. And I love just taking a look into the backstage area. You didn't get a lot of that 5-10 years ago, seeing the crowd and seeing things go backstage beyond the ring and the set. But now what I love about this Triple H era is you see it all the time.
All of it, yeah.
Multiple times a week, you got superstars going through the curtain, going through Gorilla into the ring, and I just love that glimpse into the setup backstage. So
Absolutely.
I think Falls Count Anywhere is my favorite type of match.
That was one of the craziest things to watch back in the day. I remember watching Kane and Shane in the Falls Count Anywhere, or the ambulance match, but they went backstage, and I remember just like, this is crazy, along with The Rock and Mankind back in the day, too, where Mick Foley got that thing played in the background. He didn't really quit. Either or.
Today, though, sorry to
go ahead.
But today, Royal Rumble.
That's
usually.
it?
And it's a popular choice, but I love the unpredictability.
That's where stars are made.
Exactly. I love the unpredictability. You never know who's coming out next, and it's so much fun to watch.
Absolutely. I mean, Cody Rhodes running it two times in a row is crazy,
yeah.
too. So going back to that, some of your favorite wrestlers to watch growing up. You said Cena, you said Miz. Anybody else that you want to throw out there for a third?
Yeah, Miz, definitely. Growing up, huge inspiration of mine. I've always loved Chris Jericho. I think he's phenomenal. A lot of people give him hate, but the fact that he's still, going at it week by week, coming up with new new gimmicks, just shows that he's a testament to time. I think he's unbelievable. I've always loved DIY. I was a huge NXT Black and Gold guy. I was there when Johnny Gargano beat Adam Cole to win the NXT Championship. So I think Johnny Gargano is a personal favorite of mine.
That's awesome. That's great. I love Johnny Gargano as well. Can you give me your top 5 commentators of wrestling?
Oh, that's tough. It's tough a lot because I would say there's such a distinction between play-by-play and color.
Okay.
But I would put Michael Cole at the very top.
Okay.
And I put Corey Graves right up there with him.
You like Corey Graves?
I think Corey Graves is unbelievable at what he does. He's been there for 10 years now. People don't really realize how long he's been there. And he's a guy with not a lot of, his first broadcast experience was in wrestling. He was a superstar, got injured, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then he took to commentary. And the fact that he not only took to commentary, but he just was so good at it right off the bat. He's just unbelievable. And he's continuing to get better and better and better. He's definitely, I'd say, the future voice of the company, if not one of them.
I mean, he's with Cole, too. I love Pat McAfee's input, too, as well, when he's on there as well. So Cole's your GOAT, though.
Cole's my GOAT. He actually graduated from Syracuse Newhouse, where I go to school, and it's the same program that I'm currently in. So it's a huge inspiration of mine. McAfee, though, Cole was always fired up, but McAfee really reinvigorated him and took him to that next level. You love to see that.
Made him young again.
Exactly. And you can't not talk about good old JR in this conversation as well. And Gorilla Monsoon, watching that stuff back before that was my time. And I'd say all of them, and I'd say Joey Styles too. The fact that he's a one-man show, he doesn't need a color guy to bounce off of, and he could captivate you for 3-4 hour pay-per-views at a time is unbelievable. And Mauro Ranallo, he's just on a whole other level. I love the pop culture references, and I love the excitement. I love Mamma Mia. He's just great, and I'm so glad to see him back in wrestling with Maple Leaf Wrestling.
It's amazing. I love the fact that that's his 5, because that's a great 5.
I think I said maybe 6 or 7, but that's...
It's all right. I can't count. I'm not great at math. That's why I do this type of stuff. Either or. I want to throw in an honorable mention. He was kind of a reporter slash commentator, but Coach.
The coach?
Coach.
Oh, yeah.
Coach was the man. And just speaking about, Michael Cole in the same program as you were, Syracuse, New York, Syracuse School, you're a broadcast student, news reporter for Citrus TV, and an intern for CBS. I mean, talk a little bit just about those experiences.
Yeah, I love news and broadcasting. I've always, wrestling and combat sports, I'd say, are my first love, but just right on par with that, I love news. And I work for 3 different shows right now for Citrus TV. I anchor the entertainment news show. I'm a part of the morning news show and the nightly news show, and it's just really great being at that school. It's a top school in the country for media. I'm very lucky to be there. And these kids at this school, man, they're just so good at what they do. Like, you have this, I'd say, like this 10% of Newhouse, like all the kids there are very talented, but then you have like this top 10% of kids that are just on the grind 24/7. They literally came out of the womb talking like a news anchor. They're all unreal, and being near those kids makes me want to be better. It inspires me and it gives me drive. So I just love being in an atmosphere where I could learn from my very own peers.
That's amazing, man. That was a great answer. I mean, I couldn't, that was like music to my ears, man. Syracuse, New York, shout out to what you're doing out there.
Thank
just
you.
Birthing people like Charlie Goldberg and refining the people that you guys got out there. Some great talents out there for news, reporting, journalism, period. And that kind of leads me into my next question. I see you took your hand at announcing recently. You're also the reporter journalist. You said that news is kind of a love of yours. Is that kind of what drove you or steered you in the direction towards this side of the media business?
This side is in professional wrestling, or?
Professional wrestling and the sense of anchoring and hosting and announcing.
Yeah. When it came to really my start in media, I went to Sleepaway Camp for 10 years, Camp Echo. And there's this guy at Sleepaway Camp who did the morning announcements every morning. His name was Dave Brand. And at 7 in the morning, this guy was just a ball of energy. And he can make the most boring, nonchalant announcements, like today's laundry day, or like this is what's on the menu for dinner tonight, be the most exciting, captivating thing in the world. And as a young kid seeing that, I wanted to be just like him. And I didn't really know the outlet of which I could take to be like him. I didn't know that there was career opportunities in the future. So from that point out, I really kind of studied him every day. I got to know him, and going into high school, I actually founded a media club. There was no broadcasting or media club. I took a green screen blanket and a video camera, and I just did news. And then from that point out, I applied to Syracuse Newhouse, and I got in. And from then out, I said, you know what, I'm going to take everything I learned from this guy, and put it into a career. I'm a twin. I've always loved the spotlight. I've always loved the attention. But I think taking that attention love and making it into something that I enjoy doing on a day-to-day basis, voice crack, oh my God, that I enjoy doing on a day-to-day basis, that's just a great thing.
Listen, man, for one, it's great to know that Charlie Goldberg's got a second Charlie. There's two Charlie Goldbergs just like this. That's crazy. But just the fact that, like, news and reporting, like, it just drew you in, it's really cool to see where it's shaping you now. I mean, this is how I met this guy, through this type of stuff, through this type of work with pro wrestling and all that. So talk a little bit about pro wrestling now. I see you all over the place. Talk a little bit about the companies that you worked with, the things that you're doing right now.
Yeah, so professional wrestling has always been my first love. And one day, like 2 years ago, I was just thinking to myself, you know what, I love this. This is a dream of mine. But obviously, you know, given that wrestling is a different category of sport, it's not given by the school. There's no Syracuse professional wrestling team. So how could I do this? How could I get involved? I looked up all the different independent wrestling companies in the area, and I shot emails to everybody. Only Mike King of Immortal Championship Wrestling got back to me. He gave me my first shot. Forever thankful for that.
Shout out Mike King.
Oh yeah, he's the man. And I came in, I was on commentary, I learned from Cody Jean, Justin Parker right off the bat, two absolutely incredible people that I'm very glad to call friends and co-workers. And then from then on out, it just grew. And One Up Wrestling was founded late last year. It's now on the rise again, and I'm very thankful.
Shout out One Up.
Oh yeah, I'm thankful for Derek and Patrick and the whole team for giving me that platform as well to do what I love.
It's amazing, man. And, you know, speaking about how there's no, like, pro wrestling team in schools, I remember me and the producer of the show, Willie B., we were in Waterville School at the time, young kids. They just brought a wrestling team, Roman Greco, things of that nature, to the school. We signed up instantly because we thought it was going to be the squared circle, and we were going to be doing the swanton bomb off the top rope. We were wrong. Either or, my man, I appreciate you. What I want you to do now is just let people know some other things you might be working on, what you're doing next, where to find you next, where they can see you, and how to follow and keep up to date with Charlie Goldberg.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram, Charlie J. Goldberg. I'm also on YouTube, TikTok, all those social media platforms. I'm currently doing the professional wrestling with the Immortal Championship and One Up Wrestling. I'm also doing Citrus TV, news reporting, and anchoring. I'm very thankful for all the opportunities I've been given. I'm just looking to grow and improve. When it comes to my future, this is my senior year at Syracuse. I don't know what's next, but that's what's exciting. That's life, you know? It's going to be a roller coaster. It is. And I think I'd be very lucky if I would be able to do news reporting during the day and then at night work for some wrestling companies as well. And I want to even expand maybe more into combat sports. Who knows?
I love combat sports myself. MMA's always been a huge love of mine, so like sitting with this guy, I know that we can have coffee off camera and have a bunch of things to talk about. Charlie, you say you don't know what's next. Maybe the world doesn't know. I know whatever you do, you're going to do great at it. I'm excited to see what you do as well. Thanks for being on the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
And listen, we just got Culturally Extreme with the voice of CNY, Syracuses' very own, Charlie Goldberg. Goldberg. Thanks for watching Hell in the Pod, the culturally extreme wrestling podcast.